Like I promised, I said we were going to rebuild all 32 teams this year, and believe it or not, the Chiefs are considered one of 32 teams. I get it. They're a 4-0 team, and they're really not a team that needs a rebuild, but they have looked the most vulnerable they have been in some time. Now, that probably doesn't mean a whole lot since the Chiefs have been so dominant that it really doesn't take much for that to be technically true, but their offense has definitely looked kind of a shell of its former self. Mahomes looks almost human. And obviously, Travis Kelce looks like he could retire after this season. A team that, since Tyreek Hill has been traded, has really been a wide receiver committee. And I will say they haven't really been that great of a committee. Now, Rashee Rice has definitely emerged as their number one. But Patrick Mahomes, like some of his passes this season, went a little rogue, went a little inaccurate, kind of sticked his own player, and Rice could be out for the season. Of course, there's kind of like conflicting reports right now, but I will say when you hear about second opinions, that usually means it's significant no matter what. And of course, that injury was brutal. I'm honestly genuinely surprised that he's walking. So, I mean, that's already a really good sign for the Chiefs. But yes, this wide receiver unit is going to be even worse off than it already was. And with that, I think we're going to be making a pretty big trade, probably signified by the title or thumbnail. Still, though, let's talk about some of the players on this team. Mahomes, we're not going to knock this guy. We're never going to count this guy out, so I'm not even going to say anything really bad about how he started, even though I kind of already did. Travis Kelce kind of got back on track against the Chargers, but before that, he really looked like, okay, it's over. It's done. This is his last season. But we'll see. Offensive line, one of the best interiors in football. Tackles, still kind of struggling to get, good tackles, but thankfully so, because if they had tackles as good as this interior, you don't beat this team. You simply don't. Of course, Xavier Worthy, pretty damn good coming out party. 2 bad games, and then, back on top. Chargers will do it to you. Once again, they're going to catch some strays. Run game, Pacheco, injured. Obviously, their number one running back. A completely different offense when he's out there. Kareem Hunt, serviceable, but yeah, Pacheco is just, he's on another level, of course. Marquise Brown hasn't even played yet, I don't believe. This is why this team needs to make a trade. Of course, defensively, we have a pretty damn good unit, actually, allowing not a whole lot of points per game. And they've obviously had some guys that were looking promising last year show up this year so far. Leo Chanel, kind of the defensive Rashee Rice, if you will, looked pretty good last year and started off swinging this year. Nick Bolton's obviously great. McDuffie has had, a really good year for them. Maybe their best glow-up season guy so far. Chris Jones is always going to Chris Jones. Karlaftis is definitely the best edge rusher, but they could definitely use a little more talent there. We'll see what happens for the development of him and Anodike Uzomah. Safeties, up and down. Corners, depth is definitely a problem. But overall, this is definitely a good team top to bottom. And if we added a decent wide receiver, I'm not really sure who. Maybe, just maybe, this team could be, once again, as good as they normally are. And the real thing about this is I'm not sure what it takes to get Davante Adams. That's the big problem. I think in real life, easily a first-round pick gets the job done. I think you can probably get away with a 2 and a 4, especially when you compare it, to Stephon Diggs' trade, the age, the talent at that point. Davante is a little bit better, but a little bit older. And I would argue that, like I said, a first-round pick definitely gets the job done. And you might argue, why would the Raiders trade Davante interdivisional? Well, for one, history's not really on Davante's side here. He's got maybe another 2 years at the very most of being truly elite. And with the Raiders needing more than 2 years probably to get on track to becoming a competitive team, any draft pick, especially a first-round pick, is going to mean a ton. Will we actually get this, though? It might cost more. Yeah, okay, so I am at most willing to do a 1 and a 4, and because that's just not going to happen here, we're probably going to need to force the trade. Davante Adams, in his current state right now, in his current age, is not worth more than, at best, a 1 and a 3. So the fact that it's going to cost at least 2 first-round picks, I'm going to have to force it a little bit, but that's okay because, you look at real-life trades, and our, kind of thought process here is definitely supported by recent history. So if this, triggers you enough to he's cheating, you can click off the video. It is what it is, dude. It is not that serious. This is kind of an experimental rebuild, if you will. But for anyone that decided not to leave the video, appreciate you watching. If you guys end up enjoying the video, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We do a ton of franchise stuff on the channel, and see if we can get Davante Adams. We're on very easy, by the way, and we're still not getting him, which is insane to me. It's going to cost us more than this. That is crazy. A first and a third. I could easily see the Chiefs finding this valuable to where, like, okay, yeah, we got to do this. We need a receiver. If Davante can even play at his level now for even a year or two more, that alone could get us 4 Super Bowls total. You know, not saying like 4 more, but, you know, total in a row, which I think is, you know, invaluable. A first-round pick and third-round pick, who gives a damn? You're winning Super Bowls. 4 of them total. You've literally cemented yourself as the greatest team ever to be never beaten. It's probably already going to be hard enough to ever do 3 in a row, which they're on par to do. So, you know, there's that. Of course, this could have also become a Saints rebuild or a Jets rebuild instead. The reason why I didn't do those is because, A, I've already done those teams, and B, I think long-term wise, it's just not significant enough. I don't think in Madden those teams are really built long-term. Whereas in real life, you know, maybe Derek Carr is the real one going forward. But in game, not really. Of course, this is more than he'll go for in real life if he actually gets traded. There's just no chance Davante is worth more than a first, third, fourth, and fifth, even from a team like the Chiefs that maybe projects to win another Super Bowl. Of course, they also get some extra players that are pretty young on top of it. That's the trade. I'm kind of sad about it because it's a little too much, but you get a talent like Davante Adams, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Imagine an offense of Davante Adams, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy. Sheesh. That's all I'm saying. Now, of course, one of the truest points of concern, in my opinion, is definitely the resignings. Who can you afford if you go for a guy like Davante Adams? Apparently, no one. Apparently, this team is screwed with or without him. You have Creed Humphrey, you have Trey Smith, and you have Nick Bolton all needing contracts. And realistically, I would love to keep them all, obviously. And they're all really fair contracts. Trey Smith is the only one that's kind of like a bit higher than, you know, the others, but even that for real life is cheap. We're going to be replacing O-lineman and a linebacker. I will say, of all the positions you would need to replace, it could be worse, right? I would rather replace O-line and off-ball linebacker than an edge rusher or a wide receiver or a running back, you know? So it definitely sucks, but I think we can manage, even though we have, like, no draft picks. All right, here we are headed to the playoffs, and call me crazy, I feel like we're worse with Davante than I have seen many Year 1 Chiefs teams, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I think Davante automatically makes you a better player. The way his demeanor is, we still got the bye week, which is great, but the way his demeanor is, where he's not that kind of like, I need to get the ball type of player, I mean, he just makes you better as a team no matter what. So the fact that we were sort of worse than I've seen a lot of Chiefs Year 1 teams is a little concerning. I will say, you know, Pacheco and Rice were out for a bit, but I think I brought back Rice and Pacheco right around here. And, you know, we got some losses in there as well still. So it's still kind of like, you know, what gives? 17-0, where is it? Basically. But, of course, Patrick Mahomes, pretty good numbers. 44 touchdowns, 8 picks, 4,700 yards. Is it MVP? Could be, but I don't know if it is. Pacheco was still pretty good despite missing a lot of games. And then, of course, Davante Adams, 20 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. Kelsey got back on the board, but, you know, touchdowns really didn't. Worthy was pretty good, and then Rice missed a lot of snaps, so he was still pretty damn good despite that. But, yeah, Davante was amazing. O-line was great. Chris Jones went off with 23 sacks. Karlaftis, 6.5 is okay. The rest, pretty lackluster. Picks, McDuffie, that should be a superstar dev corner if you ask me, and Connor could go to superstar himself. Butker, decent. Kicking just barely over 50, which makes him good enough. Kick return, punt return game, it's almost never a touchdown, so not really surprised there. And Mahomes, actually, number 3 for MVP, not actually number 1. Davante Adams wins Offensive Player of the Year. Chris Jones wins Defensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year, number 3. Defensive Rookie of the Year at number 9. QB of the Year at number 2. Running Back of the Year at number 9. Best Wide Receiver, obviously, number 1. O-line, Joe Tooney. Hope we don't lose him, but it's kind of a reason why he's always in free agency when we do these rebuilds, because you just can't afford him. Chris Jones, best D-line, best linebacker, nowhere to be found. A little surprised by that. DB at number 2, wish he would have got number 1. That would have guaranteed the dev up. And then, of course, Butker at 9. But more importantly than all is the best chance to three-peat, which is getting the first round bye. The Chargers, actually a team we, I believe, lost to at least once, if I'm not mistaken. I think, right? Let's take a look real quick. Pretty sure. I know obviously they didn't lose in real life, but yeah, we lost the second game. So, I mean, Hopefully history's on our side. Win, loss, win, if you ask me. But we'll see what happens. 11-6 versus 13-4. We have 10 overalls higher than them. I'm just hoping Davante doesn't regress too hard. I don't imagine he'll be lower than 90, which is fair enough. But yeah, ironically enough, I do think with the cap concerns going forward to this Chiefs team, they really should avoid getting rid of any kind of draft picks. But at the same time, if you think you're in jeopardy of losing that three-peat chance, and you know a guy like Davante, you feel really good about a guy like Davante giving you that edge that you need, I think you make that trade every day of the week. I really do. I mean, remember how Mohamed Sanu was traded for a second-round pick? Even at that time, he wasn't worth a second-round pick, and it was that much desperation at the trade deadline. Oh, my God. Okay, this is not good. I guess you just play the end zone? I've never really had much luck, playing blitz or playing zone in general. It's pretty good coverage. And that will be picked off, and that will be the championship round. Good play by Jalen Watson. And of course, with that being said, this should be moving on, which it is, 20-14. Another, closer than you would have expected it type of game. But at least we're on the positive side of it, and that's all that I can ask for. Taking a look at the stats, we have Mahomes throwing no picks, 3 touchdowns, obviously outplayed Herbert. Rushing-wise, though, they had 2 touchdowns, so touchdowns were actually pretty similar, but Pacheco was pretty good yards per carry-wise, so was Mahomes and Herbert, ironically enough. Palmer was great, McConkey was great. Our receiving game, though, a little lackluster. Davante with his touchdown still, but yards a little lackluster. Pass rush, we were better, which was a huge part of it, I'd imagine, and then Watson with the game-sealing pick was all the difference. Championship round. Can we get the three-peat? Like, come on. Of all the times for me to root for the Chiefs, let it be this time, The one time you're not going to give the Chiefs a Super Bowl win is going to be when we're controlling them. Like, let's not do that, please. Give me the three-peat. I'll live with it. End of the game, the Packers on the other side of it kind of robbed over the years of true Rodgers versus Mahomes matchups. And ironically enough, finally a Super Bowl matchup between the two, and Rodgers nowhere to be seen. 21-6, a really good start against Miami. One more touchdown would do it, but we're kind of leaving the door open here a little bit, and that field goal is not really going to do much. That door was still pretty closed. And with that, we're going to win 28-16. These haven't been, super high scoring that type of way, convincing wins, but wins are wins, I suppose. Mahomes was great again. Pacheco was definitely worse than last game. Kelsey and Adams, they had great games. And then, of course, you look at the defensive side of the ball where Chris Jones did what he does. Kicking was clean, but not for them. For all the marbles, the Packers, I think they were 11-6, so I'm kind of curious to see how they got there. They were not. They were 13-4, so this is probably number 1 seed versus number 1 seed, huh? Let's take a look at it. Yeah, it'd be pretty hard. I mean, I guess I can't say it would be pretty hard for Green Bay to actually become the number 1 seed because the season's so early on still. But let's take a look at the Packers. I hate when I do it like that. Come on, man. You would think I've been here before, but let's take a look at the actual games here. The Packers were the number 1 seed, so this is number 1 seed versus number 1 seed. A close call against the Eagles could have sent their season into the dirt. And then, of course, they were not taking any chances in the championship round. So what I'm seeing here is that Green Bay can score a lot of points. So these low scores we've been kind of having for the most part, we might not get away with them. Let's take a look at potential dev-ups, as I can't believe they have us, the kings of Super Bowls lately, as the away team. Of course, ironically enough, Davante facing off against his former team as well. Of course, Tooney becomes a superstar. And then defensively, no dev-ups, huh? McDuffie with 6 picks isn't enough for a dev-up. That sucks. That really does. So, 0 dev-ups for the whole team. Okay. Regardless, for all the marbles against the Packers, also 13-4. We're a way higher overall team, though. Davante, I can't even call it a revenge game because he's the one that wanted to leave. I suppose this would be more of a Packers revenge game against Davante Adams, if anything, here. But yeah, let's see if this quote-unquote rebuild is really as redundant as that title kind of sounds. 21-21. I mean, this is a close game, though. 28-21. Finally going to stop. That could put it away. It's not going to, though. And Green Bay has a chance. 4 seconds left. Us coming onto the field is actually a better chance for them to get this. They actually have a chance at this with us coming onto the field. Without it, they never get this in sim. So kind of curious to see what happens here. Jordan Love also goes to superstar, it seems. And they will have a chance. Little overthrown. And Justin Reed gets greedy. And every Chiefs fan in the entire world is crapping their pants. But no need to. As the Chiefs have completed the three-peat, in my opinion, Mahomes has cemented himself as the GOAT. And the Chiefs are now a team that lives in history that can never be, in my opinion, beaten. Don't even know if the Chiefs are going to do it in real life, but I can tell you this much. I don't think any other team will. So, I mean, they have the best chance. Obviously, you can argue, well, there'll be another time in history, but I just don't even see, like, it's hard to see this happening, three-peat, let alone another team doing it on top of it. So, of course, it's going to be one of those kind of takes where I think we'll all be dead before anyone gets to prove it wrong, personally, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, that's basically where I stand. And, of course, we're going to do at least 2 more seasons, but we could do the whole 5. This could be one of those rebuilds where we just want to see if we can build or retool, reload, whatever, whatever word you want to call it, whatever arbitrary word you want to call it, into the greatest team we've ever built, And it's not even really a build because, obviously, this Chiefs team kind of existed before us. Mahomes with another unbelievable performance. Pacheco is pretty good. Adams, 3 touchdowns against his former team. Kelsey was great. Will say, though, Kelsey could be on his way out, which, do we get the money back? That's all I'm just asking for a friend. Do we get the money back? Can I actually pay a lineman? I would argue, however, though, Bolton could be worth more to pay. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think the best thing we can do, though, I'm not gonna call this a fantasy style rebuild, even though it is a fantasy realm, because Davante might not move from the Raiders, and if he does, it might not be the Chiefs. But I think I'll do a little bit more what I think is the smartest thing to do, even if it's not the most realistic. But I don't think it's gonna be an unrealistic rebuild. Like, what I'm saying, obviously, is I might do more trade downs than normal, which for the most part, I feel like we've kept those kind of draft pick accumulation trades to the minimum. And of course, as you can see, Travis Kelce does retire. You can't really retire on a higher point than he has here, so respect, I guess. But yeah, realistically, with a second-round pick, no first-round pick, lesser third-round picks, but we still do have them. We still have one more, I believe. It does make sense for this team that probably is going to need multiple linemen because we can't afford what we're about to have to pay, to get those picks. Of course, looking at, the kind of available guys here, McDuffie's a re-sign next year. Trey Smith is not going to be re-signed right now. And then Bolton, we can afford potentially both Humphrey and Bolton, but should you? Karlaftis, you do not want to lose because Edge is so hard to replace. And then McDuffie, you don't want to lose. Who's hard to replace? Nick Bolton or Creed Humphrey? I think in real life, it's obviously, even though I think he's great, Nick Bolton, right? He's easy to replace. But in Madden, I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I think it might be Nick Bolton's easier to replace, but man, he is good. Let's take a look at the ratings. How goated is he? He is really good. Damn, this is a tough decision. Trey Smith, sorry, you're asking for too much money. Your start, Dev, it is what it is. Creed Humphrey. God, he's so good, though. He's so good. 2 sacks allowed. How much is it? So they're saying 12 mil left. We could probably do both. Like, barely. Let's do this. 5-year 62. He takes it. 14 mil. We can keep Creed. Should we, though? 3-year 39. Come on, do it. Ooh, that sucks. Oh, it's cheaper to tag him. It doesn't suck. It's great. All right, 1 more year of being goated. Even though we're about to lose our right guard, that's kind of a small price to pay. Obviously, you're going to lose your starting strong safety and Justin Reed as well, but $15 million per year, I can't do it. Marquise Brown, Hardman, didn't really see much out of them anyways. Losing a lot of depth, obviously. And then we're going to lose our punter, who was barely even good anyways. We'll take a quick glance into free agency, but yeah, we're not going to spend any money here. Outside of our own players, it's really not much going on anyways. Yeah, it's okay, but not great. And this is kind of the bad thing about winning Super Bowls is that your draft picks kind of suck in ranking, and without a first-round pick, there's really not much value even if we wanted to trade down. Honestly, unless we're going for day 3, guys, that whole idea of trading down might not even be relevant. Juan Iglesias, if we really need a wide receiver, I would maybe take a chance there because that speed tells me something. But I don't really need that. Of course, kind of looking at tight end. I'll have to take a look at Jared Wiley, but also just didn't expect a 2 to 3 to be there. So Bobby McCray could be an option. Very fast, tall. Did you just give up? I scouted Edwards further. I did not expect him to actually be a round 1 talent. Yeah, we're definitely going to go for him. McCray might end up being the better player, but I didn't get that scout off on him, so at the end of the day, I'm going to take whoever is best available, I think. Looking around, you got a safety we got to go for, maybe in the 5th or the 6th. UDFA with a round 3 to 4 grade. Definitely worth the risk, if you will. Need another linebacker, need another lineman. Unfortunately, the lineman group sucked. You know, we're late second here, and the linemen were terrible. I mean, let's take a look at, is it physicals, attributes? Look at these attributes. I mean, these are mid. Look at these linemen. I mean, they're so bad. They're genuinely terrible. Like, they're just not good. Normally you have some depth, not today. Just not. This is like the best looking player there, and, you know, he's terrible. This is, I mean, I'm actually kind of interested in him now because he's 6'7", 350. Telling me something, maybe, especially with that strength, and maybe he's like a sneaky player. I kind of think McCray might be better than Edwards. I might look around for a different position instead. Phelps, I don't even think it was actually even that good. I know he is good. A finesse. Man, what do we need? Linebacker we don't technically need just yet. D-line we do. I might actually go Phelps. I didn't even plan to. But I think I'm going to go Phelps and then take whoever's remaining at tight end. I like the guy that's round 1, but I also think McCray's good too. So whoever is available, I'm willing to trade up for if I need to. Delvin Phelps is going to be the guy I'm taking a chance on. 89 true talent. Hindev. There you go. All right, let's slow sim this and probably take... Oh my god, I got to go to the... I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to trade interdivisional. Okay, I mean, I could have easily done it, but go to the Patriots, still end up with the same tight end. I don't really even think we need a tight end, technically, but... Yeah, what is Jared Wiley's like? He's not that old, right? Ooh, he's actually 24. I didn't expect him to be, you know, I thought maybe 23. 24 is a, you know, it's a little bit of a different conversation, I suppose. Let's just make it happen, then. Can we actually get this... Let's try to get this 5th round this year, like, sorted. 5th round this year. There's no way this goes. They're losing in this trade. They took it. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. I'm not going to argue. Oh, crap. I forgot we're on very easy. I got to... Damn it. I forgot. I was like, I get it, right? The Patriots, they're a little iffy at drafting sometimes these days, but yeah, that kind of makes sense. And because it's a mess, I'm going to give them a 6th and a 5th to get a 7th back. I think that's easily would have been enough to make that trade, so... It is what it is. We end up getting the trade. You know, definitely cost us more than we projected for a moment there. But Dak Edwards, 6'6", 21 years old, super great key ratings, athletic. This guy could be goated. True talent 7. Hidden dev. We might have just got ourselves another Travis Kelce. And even though we have a bunch of needs, we got to trade to the 5th round. We barely even have this 5th round pick as is. So, you know, we're going to just live with what we've got. What do we got? That wide receiver is still there, by the way. Still there, by the way. But yeah, Caleb Jordan's going to be the guy I go for. He's not the best player in the world, but very athletic. You know, C-zone coverage, B hit power, 3 to 4 talent. Could you get lucky with hidden? Maybe. Could he be at least a 70 overall? Hopefully. Let's see what we get. True talent, 106. I can live with that. And he's hidden. That's a huge draft pick. I was really thinking normal dev, 70s, young enough till I can start him. Totally worth it. And this team doesn't even need wide receiver, but man... The value of a Galasius with all that speed. I'm really curious to see how good he is, but I don't think we need him. I mean, we have 4 good wide receivers. Like, Sky Moore is being not used, so... We'll go to the next round. If Galasius is there, though, I've got to make a play. I have no choice. You know, he can't just sit here this long. I've got to. It's just, this is ridiculous. We trade them Cameron Thomas in a 7th round next year. Time to take a Galasius and land ourselves a super stud. Oh, Hawkins, or not Hawkins, Mackey, actually. 6'5", yeah. Iglesias, even if he's just a kick returner, is probably worth it. Let's go with Mr. Juan Iglesias. True talent, 203. And with 99 speed. I mean, it's just... Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there, but that was a little easy to see. I mean, he's fast. I mean, you can teach a guy that's fast to do something. It's a 6th round, dude. Guys like those don't fall past like the 3rd these days because it's just like you have all that speed. You know, there's going to be something you could do with them. Of course, let's take a look at some punters. We need a punter. 7th round, this could work out. Kick power poor. Then we have Caps. Daniel Caps. Poor. And of course, we have one more B, and then we move on to the C guy. Chris Nixon, great. Okay, movement. And then I think you only look at the other guy. The rest don't really care too much about. C, decent, he's good. I mean, he's all right, but Nixon's definitely the guy. Chris Nixon, great kick power, B accuracy. 77 true talent, normal dev, 95 kick power. Welcome to the team, starter. All right, pretty damn good draft, though. I got to say, all in all, not a bad draft. A lot of hiddens. Replaced a lot of positions we needed to. Didn't get the O-line fixed, though, which kind of sucks. 70 for the DT, who barely made it. Jordan, not even a 70. But Edwards, very good player. I wonder what McRae was like. Both players kind of similar. We're number 88, very close to being a criminal. Almost completely robbed Kelsey. He's barely even left. Let the body cool down a little bit. Let's take a look at Edwards. Dev, damn, wish he was superstar, like maybe X Factor as well. Something that would be great. Phelps, automatic DT2, and not many options. I mean, he's raw, but he does have a really good finesse move, and obviously being hidden. Like I said, the lower the strength, the higher the dev. That's just the way I've seen it. Not going to be the case here, unfortunately. And then, believe it or not, Caleb Jordan might actually be our starting strong safety just based on the fact that we don't have someone there. Decent zone coverage, pretty athletic. Low overall, but still serviceable. Star def. No one higher than star, unfortunately, but well, actually, we don't know that because Iglesias. But yeah, super low overall for Iglesias. You know, he's insanely raw, but hidden dev with 99 speed. There's always a chance to do something with that, like we talked about. And of course, could even, could have superstar, but does have superstar. Not even could have it, does have it. The new age speed freak. Oh my God! Speaking of speed freaks, Vincent. He is only 6'2", but 270, 88 speed. Actually, don't know if that's generational. I mean, there's some really good ratings in there, but it's not all around OP like you would expect. And I guess I'm wrong. I guess he is generational. Never mind. Also, curious to see what the Raiders did with our draft pick. They go strong safety. I mean, the guy's not bad. He is normal dev, which sucks, but not bad. But yeah, that's maybe a pick you would use on an offensive player. You know, you got to rebuild that offense before the defense, in my opinion. Either way, let's take a look at the third round, actually. McRae, 74 overall. Actually, normal dev, so worse than the guy we had. And I got to be honest, if I had, a choice of them, I might have went McRae. I know you have that true talent grade, but McRae did look really good. Would have been a 50-50 decision. I'm glad it didn't come down to it, though, as I, clearly would have made the mistake. And here we are with Season 2. Obviously, Davante Adams didn't really regress that hard. I was kind of thinking maybe 90 overall or so, but 93, still really good. Obviously, Worthy developed a little bit last season. Rice developed a little bit. Pacheco went up a little bit. New tight end, no Travis Kelce. Obviously, Edwards has high potential, but it's going to take a long time for him to ever get close to Travis Kelce's ratings. Probably won't even, get into the barely 90s if we're very lucky by the end of this thing. O-line obviously takes a little bit of a hit at right guard. Wanya Morris moves over to right guard, but that's fine. The O-line is still somewhat intact. Left side of the line looks really good. Linebackers, you kept, Nick Bolton. Hicks had a little bit of a glow up. Jordan, we're hoping, can do the same. Corners, is Connor better than Watson? What's the difference in age here? Watson's 26. I'd say they're both about 26, no? Definitely need a new corner, but, didn't have a first-round pick. Kind of hard to do that. And, yeah, Connor definitely deserves to be the number 2. He is just simply the higher potential guy out of the two. And then the D-line, outside of Chris Jones potentially retiring because he's older, which he might actually be able to stay the whole rebuild at 31 years old. I think you don't really have many concerns there either. Really, the salary is the issue, the cap room, which we actually have, a little over 20 mil right now. So I think we'll manage. And Frankenstein's got his debut. We're having a hell of a year, but let's see how sad we're about to get as we are broke. $23 million. Pacheco is a contract need. Ooh. Damn. So call this, an easy rebuild because the team's so built, but, you're losing significant names. You're losing the center. You're keeping the running back. You're going to try to find a way to keep McDuffie. I don't know if you're going to be able to. You're losing Chanel. You're losing Karlaftis. You're losing Tooney. I can't lose Pacheco. Running back is, in my opinion, hands down the hardest thing to develop in this game. So if you have a running back that's especially young, you got to keep him. And then edge is probably the second hardest. And I can't afford to keep either him or McDuffie. This hurts. Where is the money going? Is it just dead hits? Because yes, Mahomes making a lot of money, but we've had plenty of rebuilds where, quarterbacks make 60, 70 million, and we still have most of our team. And, if we're losing Humphrey, the only paid lineman at that point would be no one, right? It would be Tooney, and he's gone too. So where is the money? Genuinely, where is it? Give it. Where'd you put it? Where is... Mahomes didn't even... I guess next year he's making 72. Tooney's gone. Taylor, too. If we can somehow save this money next year... If right before these guys are going to go to free agency... Oh, my God. Okay, Davante is making crazy money, too. Yeah, we got some guys with some insane hits in 2026. I can see it. I can see it now. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Find out next Tuesday, I suppose. Is it gonna happen? Please, It doesn't happen. You gotta be effing kidding me. Wait, what? We went 16-1 and don't have the number 1 seed. That is unbelievable. Not only did it cost us an undefeated season, it cost us the bye week. That's ridiculous. I've never seen that. Well, regardless, take a look at the numbers. Mahomes, obviously, that's MVP. 57 touchdowns, 5 picks, 5,000 yards. That's maybe an unbeatably good season all time. Pacheco, pretty damn good, especially when you consider how much was focused on the pass game. Adams was amazing again. Worthy was really good. Edwards was pretty good. Rice was pretty good. Pacheco was involved. Blocking, Tooney, he could go to X Factor if he physically could, but he can't. Defensively, Chris Jones had a way worse season. Pass rush has been terrible. Kicking was awful. Punting was better. Kick return, punt return game, no touchdowns, no one shocked. Take a look at the yearly awards, though. We have Mahomes winning MVP. No one shocked. Andy Reid with the Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Lamar Jackson. Defensive Player of the Year goes to T.J. Watt. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Strickland. One higher than us with Edwards. That's truly painful. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Phelps is now number 4. Best QB, obviously, Mahomes. Best running back, Pacheco. Best wide receiver goes to Adams with the Worthy at 8. Best O-line back to Tooney. Best D-line at number 4. Best linebacker, no. Best DB, no. Best kicker, obviously not. But I still can't believe 16-1 is the 2nd seed. But there's nothing else to it but to get on through it. I don't know. Let's see if we can beat the Jaguars. How about that instead? Here we go, going to the end of the game. The 4-peat is still on. It's a really disappointing, could have had an undefeated season type of end. But the playoffs are still here. We are still able to win another in a row. The Jaguars are trying to not allow that to happen, though. This is a 4-point game. The Jaguars have really never let us have a chance. 7-point differential. 4th and 2. You go for it, obviously. 4th and 7. They're going to punt it. This Chiefs team is just a shell of itself, isn't it? All right, 4th and 19. I mean, they're literally going, nowhere. This team all of a sudden is just, for some reason, just terrible, I guess. Clock's, of course, running like a madman. Lovely. Davante wearing 82. I didn't even notice that till just now. That's basically the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And we're going to have to run. We get the block, and look at Mahomes. An unbelievable play. That linebacker made a crazy play, though. I thought we were about to hit him. Thought he was going to cover the tight end all the way. We were going to hit Davante over the middle. It's going to be a tough one. And, oh my God, you got to be effing kidding me. We lose the 4-peat on that. That's insane. Maybe we would have, should have went with the rack catch or the possession catch, but I also just hate that the aggressive catch you have to go up for. I think it should be relative to where your guy is and where the ball is when you go for an aggressive catch. It shouldn't always be the stupid jump ball animation. Sometimes, wow, Mahomes without us was terrible, though. Threw 2 picks on his own. Sometimes an aggressive catch just, means you jump towards the ball. It doesn't mean you have to jump to the moon. We see those animations where the ball is low and your guy jumps to get it. It's like, huh? I get it. They're trying to make it where the user error element exists, right? Where, I chose an aggressive catch when I should have did something else. That's my fault. But at the same time, aggressive catch is super subjective. It doesn't have to be. Like in previous Maddens, the aggressive catch was that kind of like mid-jump towards the ball. And now it's like over jump every time, which is really stupid. But regardless of the point, the team did not deserve to win. And the Jaguars, in the wild card round, mind you, as a 16-1 team, also, mind you, are going to be the team to knock us out. The Ravens aren't in the Super Bowl. It's the Jaguars. Of course, we play the team destined to win it all in the wild card round of our 4-peat season. Love it. It's just fun. Great storyline as they win. Like I said, destined. They were destined. I don't think we would have had any retirements other than, the mentor-type players, but we'll take a look just in case. Maybe Chris Jones is sick of it. He's not sick of it. I would be sick of it, but he's not. Let's take a look. Did we look at her? No, we didn't look at her Devils. We just got here. I'm so used to being in the Super Bowl as the Chiefs, and I'm like, hey, we would have checked that already. DevOps, Davante. Oh, hello. Last season for sure. We're going to let him go after this for sure, unless he just straight up retires. But, yeah, that is a significant drop-off. That speed, damn. Damn. Wide receiver of the year? I don't know about that. You drop that hard, you're something. I don't know if it's wide receiver of the year anymore. Then defensively, Andy DevOps. Leo Chanel, of course, the guy we can't afford, goes to Superstar. Connor goes to Superstar, which is great. But no one else does. 90 overall, but that is soon to change drastically here. As if we're lucky, we can re-sign one more big name. But the offensive line is going to take a huge hit as well. And honestly, with the way that Mahomes has played, maybe he deserves to be hit a little bit. I'm just saying, maybe somebody needs to punch him. And of course, we're looking at all the options here. It's without a doubt, the one guy you don't want to lose here is Trent McDuffie. So that's who we're going to be paying. It's pretty straightforward if you ask me. Losing Karlaftis sucks. Losing Chanel sucks. Losing Creed Humphrey sucks. But I think, that's really where we are. And is Tooney there? There he is. I was about to say, because he didn't say he retired, but I don't see him. Yeah, we're losing some significant starters, but we have no choice. I think. Let's make sure that we don't, because maybe we can get rid of guys like Jawan Taylor or something. And we can. In fairness, we can get rid of... Okay, we can get rid of some players. We can get rid of Dana, Taylor, and Tranquil. That alone could be enough to keep Karlaftis. That's who I really want to keep, just because I don't want to replace Edge, and Karlaftis has been bad. I'm going to be straight up with you, but at the end of the day, his overall tells me that, you're not going to get much better than him. We got to save some money, live better, Walmart. I'm just kidding. They don't sponsor me. Don't go there. Actually, that's also like, is that defamation? I don't know. Just don't sue me, I guess. That is interesting though. How does that work? Because obviously, you should be able to have opinions, right? I think you just can't go into specifics, right? I can't be like, don't go to Walmart because their orange juice has fentanyl in it or something. That's really out there, by the way. But you can't make claims like that, which they don't, to my knowledge. I don't think they do. Pretty sure they don't. But yeah, money has decided to bless us. And I got to say, now I'm starting to think that maybe it's Humphrey that gets to stay more than anyone. I'd rather lose Karlaftis at the price, considering how he's played, than to lose Creed at the price, considering how goated he is. So Karlaftis, let's take a look at the numbers. He's 25 years old, really good power move, has played like ass. That's a factor. Playing like ass is definitely a factor. But I also wonder, if we play our cards right, if maybe we can keep both. Is that possible? I don't know. So how much is this? This is $25 million per. So we can't keep both. I've just learned this just now. I don't want to lose Leo Chanel, but an off-ball linebacker I think is a little easier to replace. The price is also, it's up there, right? $20 million. It's pretty fair, but it's up there. I think Edge is just too hard to replace, so we're going to go with a 3-year 81. I can't believe you declined that. How much is the tag? It's 26. Boom. Welcome back. It's a little high, but it's about the same price that he was get paid. We lose Chanel. We lose Tooney. I thought we would lose more, so that's fair enough. And now, for, just a complete waste of time because we know we can't afford anybody, let's take a look at free agency. We have $29 million. That's jokes. They're lying. None of that's real. Zach Tom would be great, but I'm not paying that kind of money for a lineman. We've seen where having linemen got us last year. It really didn't do much for us. It'd be nice to get a Taylor Moton if I could get him for 10 mil or something. Any more than that, I think I'm selling. I'm overpaying. But yeah, we need some linemen. I don't think we can get them all through the draft. We have other needs. So I think we're going to be aiming for a lineman. I can't believe that is that low. I get a 1-year 10's not amazing for the open market, but it's also not like, well, I'm just going to retire level. You know, that's still a lot of money, especially for a position that I would imagine, I really don't know the stats, but just using common sense, doesn't have that many concussions in it, right? I would assume. That's really where the big argument of, like, is it worth it anymore comes from, right? Joe Thuney, we get a little bit of a head start here. Maybe we try to get him on a 1-year 14. That could work. I could live with it. I can't live with it. Joe Thuney's gone. He has joined the Chargers. Enemy. Enemy. I don't like you. I'm fighting you. Taylor Moton at least is still, there's a chance. But yeah, this is a little sucky. You know, we were good last year, but weren't good enough to win a Super Bowl apparently. Not even close, actually. And we have definitely taken a bit of a drop off. So there's that. That's all I can say about that. Not really sure what our priority in the draft is besides O-line, especially in that first round, but yeah, we're going to have to make it count. We're in the draft, and there's a wide receiver here. 6'2", really fast at 4.33. He's got some eliteness in his athleticism. Route running's a little iffy, I'll admit, but very good catching. I think this is going to be the guy we're going to go with. If he's hitting, that'd be goated. And he's 31 true talent. Unfortunately, normal. And we're going to make a trade down. It's not too significant. We're going to get some extra picks to trade up with. And we have linebacker Garrison Davis. Really good potential. Super athletic. Clear-cut choice. We get a hidden player. 48 in true talent. And, of course, normal. And now we have another linebacker, Max Groves, who looks pretty damn good. B zone coverage. I think he's the second best linebacker we can get. Super speedy. Let's see this dev. Come on, 29 true talent. Another normal. We're going to try to trade up here, and the Bears are really not having it. It's pretty close, though. 7th round? Come on, it's close, right? Thank you. We'll take it. As we now sit at 25 in the 3rd round. Offensive line, Eric Jenkins going to be the choice. Day 3 projection, but the true talent's there. Give me a hidden, please. 44 true talent. Finally. Thank you. Time for yet another trade. We're going to be going up for a wide receiver, I'm pretty damn sure. See if he is still there. I mean, that's kind of the reason we would trade up. Wilder, Alex Wilder, very raw, but obviously insanely fast. Could get one of those superstar types like Iglesias. True talent of 101, not the best, and also normal, but yeah, look at all that speed. All right, let's take a look at these players. How did Clinton, 74 overall? Okay, I mean, I can live with that. That's pretty fast as well, 93 speed, 433. I mean, it makes sense. He looks good. He's just normal dev. That's the only downside, which also another downside is that he's not starting right away. Now it's time to look at Davis, obviously normal dev, but pretty balanced for an outside linebacker. Not bad at all. Super fast as well, obviously. Who else do we have? Groves, the other linebacker, 74 overall, which is really good. Very athletic. Not as balanced, but still really good, especially that block shedding. After him, we did end up with a lineman, finally. Eric Jenkins, the hidden dev guy. Probably don't need to look at his dev too much because he's actually in the left guard spot, which is what he needs to play. But that's really it. There's no need to look at the wide receiver. I mean, he's going to be buried in the depth chart. Maybe a kick returner if we're lucky. And here's the team. Of course, Taylor Moton's the right tackle. Wanya Morris ends up moving to right guard. I mean, he's not terrible. He's 25. He's got some pretty damn good balance ratings, I got to say. Really not much changes outside of that, though, I'll admit. But it's a decent-looking offense. Obviously, Davante has regressed a little bit, but brand new left guard with high potential. And, really we just got to get back to that offensive line well. Clinton, he's the number 4 guy. It makes sense. Obviously the team is pretty damn good at wide receiver for now, but obviously you're kind of future-proofing for Davante. Pacheco, still the starter. Davante's good enough for at least one more year, especially if he needs a contract. He's likely going to be not playing for us next season. I'm going to be real with you. But, yeah, the skill position, I think, is still there. Of course, you got 99 Mahomes, so there's always a chance. Defensive side of the ball, obviously some normal devs that we're staring at, but overall not bad. We just need these guys to develop a little bit quicker, right? You got the 2 linebackers. Hopefully one of them gets a dev up, rookie of the year potentially. But the team looks pretty good, I think, going into Season 3. All right, got some contracts. Shamari Connor, not really the best development so far, 26 years old, superstar, but 81 overall. The big thing is he's not too expensive, so you probably end up re-signing him, especially with 94 mil. Obviously, Rashid Rice, he gets the contract. Karl Loftus, assuming we can get him, he's going to get the contract. Felix Anudike Uzama, got to have a good season for us to do that, but probably will. Wanya Morris, that's a tough decision, maybe. And it kind of looks like that's really where it all ends. Don't really have to worry too much about any other player. But But let's get these contracts in. I think Rice is by far the number one guy that we have on our list, so we're going to give him a contract. I don't think this should cost us too much. Yeah, 4 year 74, that's really cheap for us. Karlaftis, even though he hasn't really played well, I think he's a high overall lineman, and that's good enough for me to start him. And then, of course, we look at Anodike. Let's take a look at how well he's playing. He's more of a block shedder than a finesse at this rate, but he's still super young, time of development. He's having a year. Yeah, we're definitely paying him. 8.5, without a doubt. Can we get him for this? I mean, it's kind of cheap. Damn. That would have been really nice to pull that off. And then Connor, I mean, we're going to have to bump this a little bit because of the lack of interest. I think that's fine, though. 3 or 24, yeah, he takes it. That's not bad. That's all right. And really, that's kind of it, right? Maybe Wanya, like we talked about, but Davante, I think he's just, the timing's bad. The regression's going to get worse. It's time to hit the road. This has been a disgustingly bad season. I think if we win, we should be in there. But for the Chiefs to not consistently make it, especially since we've made the team better, is crazy. And we missed. We actually did miss. 10-7, we're the 8th seed. The Broncos steal the division. Of all the teams in this division, that's the one that ends up stealing the division title and the playoff spot. Wow. That's actually insane. Let's take a look at how it happened. Was it like close games or anything like that? I see a couple in there. There's a couple of like one possessioners, but that's actually wild that we didn't make the playoffs as the Chiefs. I almost feel like that's a failed rebuild on its own. I know we got the 3-peat, but like, really? And then look at Mahomes. 53 touchdowns, 6 picks, 4,700 yards, and we miss. Pacheco, I mean, he might win MVP. Rice was great. Of course, Adams was decent. Edwards was decent. Worthy was decent. This was a great offensive performance. Blocking, I mean, was okay, I guess. Sack totals, 13.5 for Jones, 12 for Felix. I really don't know how we missed. Butker, I guess, wasn't great. Nixon under 50 yards per punt is really disappointing. But, yeah, Mahomes, MVP. Rice, Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, we've won awards. 10-7. Missing the playoffs as the Chiefs, that is really, really sad. Wow. I can't believe that's one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen. We didn't have any significant retirements, but who won the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Steelers? It is the Eagles. Did we have any DevOps? Rice could go to X Factor, though, to be fair. And he goes to Superstar. I mean, I would have loved X Factor, but okay, I guess. I thought maybe Dev up from the award, and then the stats would have given him the Superstar X Factor, but apparently not. I mean, look at all those leaders and awards and whatnot. Oh well, tight end went up, to Superstar, which is great. I don't think anyone else. I mean, Davante went down to an 85, yeah, not the best. No dev up for Worthy, obviously, 900 yards, but fair enough. I mean, that's still a pretty good season. And then Davis went up in dev like we expected. We wanted one of the linebackers to go in dev at least, and they did. Still need a little bit of work, and Chris Jones regresses, but overall, I'm just more disappointed about missing the playoffs. I can't believe we missed the playoffs at the Chiefs. Think we took care of all the contracts. Worthy with a 5th-year option, I suppose, but yeah, you want to dot those T's. Wanya Morris is interesting. I think what that costs, though, I think we got to pass on him. We got to get someone else. Here it is, the same old, same old. About to head to the offseason where we probably won't be able to spend any money. Maybe Taylor Moton will come back on 1 year 10 again or something. Oh, wow. Aiden Hutchinson, Fred Warner, Tunsil, obviously Davante Adams, Ryan Kelly. There's a couple of decent names, especially at the top, but no one we can afford. Obviously, our team has just been broke ever since the start of this thing. Bringing in Davante was crippling as is. 2 tackles that are decent. Probably going to go for Taylor Moton, offer that 1 year 10 if we can. 6 sacks. I mean, he had a pretty good year for us, I guess. That's what we're going to go for and probably spend no more. Of course, it's probably going to take a while because it's going to be super low ball, but there's a good chance we get him. If we got him last time when he was a higher overall, I'm sure, more interest than last time. So, in theory, we should get him back. All right, we're in the draft, and we're looking to trade down. 18's a little high for anything I want. There's a couple of linemen, but I don't really like grabbing first-round linemen. You already know that. Would like to stick around, though, because there's like a corner. Maybe I still go lineman. Yeah, I think the Bills, their offer is the best by far. We're getting a 3rd-round pick and then a 4th next year to barely move down. Going to pull the Band-Aid off, and there's the corner we want at 23. Still should have that lineman, though. Kind of looking generational type. Top 5 true talent. Really strong. Let's take a look. Number 2, he is top 5. 97 strength, 73 speed. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this guy being a freaking generational. We're now at the start of the second round. I want to see if my corner's still there. I'd probably take a trade up. Ooh, Groom is good too, though. Kind of future-proofing DT for Chris Jones. Ty Reed, pretty fast, good man in zone. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd trade up for him. I think he's worth it. They're trying to bleed me dry. The Patriots want it all. There you go. We get the trade done. Hopefully this corner's worth it, because, I mean, you don't even technically need a corner, but Connor, I don't really like exactly where he is with his age and development. His trait's great, but his actual overall's not super great. A couple of decent players there, like a lineman and whatnot. Groom, though, it's really making me think about things. Not that fast, but he looks beastly. He really does. But, I think the corner's probably the safest bet and probably the bigger need. Let's get Ty Reed. Give McDuffie a better cornerback group, if you will. True talent. Oh, it's True Talent 4. 92 speed, 93 excel. Wow. I mean, that's almost good enough to, like, steal the title from Davante. I drafted 2 top 5 true talents in the same draft. That's pretty significant. And we see a DT here. I know he's a 3 to 4 true talent, but this guy looks good, does he not? Super athlete, really good key ratings. I think I'm willing to trade up for him, really. And that's exactly what we do. We end up getting that trade up, and it was only about 8 spots, so it didn't cost us too much. With this pick, though, we are going to be going for Mr. DT Barkley. Kedrick Barkley. Looks pretty good, promising. I don't know about that overall, but there's still a good chance he's hidden. True talent 81. Yeah, that's not that great. But yeah, hidden. I mean, he looks really good, too. Super athletic. Strength is decent. That was a good pick. And we actually didn't even have to trade up for our next pick. The last lineman was actually still there. Mr. Brandon Fulton, 6'5", looks beastly. Let's see what we can get for him. Please be hidden. I think that this got to be the guy. 76. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh, I really don't like it. He is normal. Damn. Gonna try to move down a little bit. We have a 6'5" corner, and we can get a running back. The Vikings are giving me exactly the trade I want. And here he is, Mr. McLeod. Not very fast, but, one of those prototypical A-man coverage type of players. True talent, 104. Hidden. Could be superstar. I mean, that's a sneaky little steal. Where do you play someone that slow? I don't know. And there was one running back left. UDFA, Don Mims. Pretty fast for a power back. Let's see what we got something here. True talent, 131. That's not a bad pick. 91 speed for a power back. Okay, I can live with it. And look at Morrison. 79 overall. Looked like a generational. Couldn't confirm it, but yeah, I think... ooh, maybe not. He's more of a finesse guy. More of a tackle than anyone. He might not actually be generational. 79 overall is hard to believe that he wouldn't be, though. And let's take a look. He is... Yeah, he's only star dev. Yikes. I mean, he's still a really good player, obviously. But yeah, now we have Ty Reed. Or thank you, Reed. I don't know. Really good man coverage. Pretty fast. Obviously, hidden development trait. Can we get someone higher than star, though? Like, maybe the corner will be, and we already had Iglesias. But those guys don't count. Those are like, prototypical builds. Fortunately, star dev as well. I mean, not really hitting anything higher than star, but obviously late in the first round, late in the second, those kind of picks are going to happen. Although, actually, we had pick 18, so never mind. Barkley looks great, though. Finesse is up there. Block shed's decent. Strength is good. Lower the strength, the higher the dev, even though 87's not that low. And not going to be the case here. Star dev still looks great. Future replacement, potentially, for Mr. Chris Jones, but... Still, I mean, fair enough. And then I'll take a look at McLeod. I mean, Fulton doesn't really matter too much because even if he's superstar, he's a lower overall. I don't even think he's going to start right away. But yeah, McLeod, where do you play him? He's so slow, and he has no zone coverage. But this would be the one guy that you would expect to be superstar, if anyone. And he is. Yeah, as expected, he is. And the last guy I want to take a look at, Don Mims, 5'11", 222. Yeah, speed's up there, truck and stiff arm up there, but he has no change of direction. He literally, his ankle will snap if you try. It's stuck in the ground like a tree. Here we are, Season 4. Derrick Henry is a backup. 75 overall, so, I mean, he's not the best anymore, but still pretty fast. Still got some trucking and some juke move, or a stiff arm and some juke move, I should say. Yeah, agility, excel, that kind of stuff, not the best, but 90 speed. Can definitely get the job done. He's a backup. What can you ask for? Maybe a 3rd and 1. Maybe even a 3rd and 1 fake out. You put Derrick Henry on 3rd and 1. What team is not expecting, the run? You throw that play action, GG. Especially with the speed we got with a Worthy. No Davante, but that's fine. Offensive line looks about as good as it has since, Season 1, maybe 2. Which I guess it's only 1 year away. Season 3 was last year. Obviously, we got a brand new cornerback in Reed. We got a brand new number 5 corner, 4 corner, whatever you want to call him, in McLeod. It'll be a backup safety, sort of. Depth's a little concerning, but overall, I think it's a pretty solid-looking team. 90 overall. Can we get to the playoffs at least? Can we get back? Can we win a Super Bowl again? All right, a much better season, which is ironic because it's arguably a much worse roster. But hey, well, I'm just glad to be here, you know. 5-year 97.5. Xavier Worthy finds it worthy. Suamatea, he has been a guy that we've kind of thought about needing to pay sooner or later, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think we can afford it. I just don't. Hicks, I guess we're gonna have to increase slightly. There's no one else that we actually have to pay right now, but assuming we have anyone at all next season to pay, this takes up the whole budget. Oh, it's actually not as bad as I thought. I thought it was, well, it's probably going to be pretty close to 30. I'll do this, and that's it. 3 or 81. Yeah, I can't do more than that, bud. That's a lot. And it's not a lot of money for real life, I guess, but for in-game, it is a lot of money. How has he played, I suppose? Really good power blocker. I mean, he's given up a lot of sacks, too. And it's ironic, I was literally I swear, I was just thinking, where had the dev-ups been? A lot of times I just don't show them because, what's the point of showing you guys? I just kind of click quickly and I just sold him. There's no way he gets that. I guess that's not terrible. It's doable. But normally I don't show him if we don't get him, but genuinely I just haven't had any. I just haven't seen breakout chances. So, it's kind of crazy that I was just thinking, where are the breakouts? And here's one right now. Probably won't hit it, but at least it exists, if you will. And automatically, we have the first-round bye. No one else was really that good, and with 12 wins, it was enough to get the first-round bye. Could finish with a 13th win, now that we actually need it, but we do finish with that. The Raiders back down to reality, same with the Broncos. I guess I can't even say the Raiders are back down to reality. This has actually been better than the last couple of seasons, but yeah, number 1 seed at 13-4. Back to be, good to be back on top, if you will. Let's take a look at the win-loss. Won 5 in a row, lost 1, then won 3 in a row. And, second half of the season was a little more win-loss. But ultimately, obviously, it was a very successful season. No one in the top 3. We've seen them, our guys in the top 3 a lot. But no top 3s. Mahomes was still really good. Is it MVP? Maybe. Pacheco was pretty good. Worthy, this is kind of a bad season for us. But Edwards should be an X factor, which is great. Worthy could be a superstar, which is great. But definitely a down season for us. And, of course, Suamatea. Of course we can't afford him, or we haven't wanted to afford him, and now he plays really well. 2 edge rushers with double-digit sacks, and then Jones back on top with 18.5. What a year for him. And then Butker, we got to get a new kicker. The dude has been inconsistent. MVP goes to Calhoun, which is interesting. New name drop. Mahomes at number 3. Any award wins? Chris Jones. Mahomes again. Chris Jones again. The 2 names, the 2 faces of this team. The Ravens. Why do the Ravens get in at 9-8, but we couldn't make it at 10-7? Oh, that's illegal. Oh, well, what can you do? You can only play who's in front of you. They obviously won a game, so, that 7th seed proving, hey, maybe they deserve to be in. They were able to beat someone higher seeded than them. 24-10, a pretty good start at halftime. The Clouds are rolling in 31-16. One more touchdown could do it. And it'll be a field goal. Same difference. Really good defense. Long drives for the Ravens because they obviously run the ball a lot. Not finishing the drives, just helping us out. And that's kind of how that game went. Pretty equal performance from both sides. Lamar was a little more accurate, but we had one more touchdown. Rushing Pacheco was a little bit better, but those playoff numbers, man, you rarely see good playoff numbers, ever. Pass rush-wise, they were technically better than us. No picks. Perfect kicks from us. They missed 1 extra point. Wouldn't have changed much. We now move on to the championship round. Who we will be facing. We can't play the Chiefs, right? The Dolphins. One of the other hard teams to play. Who would be the toughest team? Chiefs, Ravens, Dolphins, Bengals, I suppose, based on paper. I know in real life it's all over the place right now, but based on paper, difficulty, especially with playbooks, I think that's probably the teams. Other side is the Bears and the Eagles. Okay, the Bears beat us already, and the Eagles just won a Super Bowl. So, not the best 2 teams to see. Of course, we were down by a lot there, but we kind of turned it around a little bit. Right now, it's looking like the Dolphins have our number, but we score the start of the second half. It's looking good. 17 all, 24-17. They get a touchdown. We're going to slow sim this. We're at the 15-yard line. And Mahomes throws a pick to Jalen Ramsey. Anti-clutch. If this is a touchdown, this is not looking good. And with 6 seconds left, Mahomes choked the game. Mahomes has lost the touch. We needed to have it. We needed the drive, and I mean, we don't even need to have it. We just needed them not to have it. Couldn't put up any points, and we're going to lose by 3. I mean, obviously, we're going to try something here. Can you get out of bounds? Can you get out of bounds? And he can, but the clock runs out, and we're ended up losing 27-24. Wow. I mean, that's all Mahomes. It's all Mahomes. No one else. I know the defense wasn't great, but Mahomes throwing that pick was the game. It was the game. It was simply the game. It was a game where, both sides were, it was tight. You can't make the mistake, and what does he do? Makes the mistake. Tyreek Hill gets a little more revenge. Jalen Ramsey gets a pick, and the Dolphins are headed to the Super Bowl, and we are not. We're headed to the final season with only 1 Super Bowl win and 1 Super Bowl trip even under our belt. So as much as these rebuilds seem like, oh, it's the Chiefs, super easy, 2-3 Super Bowls minimum, you can see how you might not get the RNG. And I know in the rebuilds we've played, the Chiefs don't always win the Super Bowl. They maybe get 1 every 5. But yeah, I mean, we might be following that suit, I suppose. I think we did about as well as you physically can, right? We've drafted pretty well. We re-signed the guys that make the most sense, that are hardest to replace, right? Like, a lot of times the game would try to keep, Trey Smith, usually. You lose a Nick Bolton. I think Nick Bolton's a little harder to get, to keep. Guy like him, it's harder to get one of those players than it is to get an offensive lineman, which we kind of proved, I suppose, right? Our right guard's 86, our left guard's 85. Pacheco goes to X Factor, and so does Edwards, though. Those are pretty big dev ups, especially for Pacheco. That's big. That's big. Did Worthy not go up in dev? That's kind of painful. Didn't. Eek. Of course, Edwards talked about how he'll probably never get to, at least in this rebuild, to Travis Kelce status. Might have been kind of wrong. I know he's not quite a 99 overall, but those route runnings are debatably better than what Travis starts at. I'm pretty damn sure, honestly. Anyways, let's take a look at the defensive side of the ball, where still the edge doesn't dev up. Groves still doesn't go up in development trait, and in general, we're just struggling there. We're just not getting any dev ups on this side of the ball. Bolton still star. Chris Jones, 84 overall. Kind of the worst time for him to be crap. But when it's the last season, I think you just keep him on the team and hope that X Factor, that name, carries enough to maybe give us one last chance. Of course, Super Bowl winner was the Dolphins. It's good to re-sign players. I mean, we still have Sua Matea on the list. I'm probably saying his name wrong. I swore that's how his name's said, though. 37 mil. Oh, that's 37 mil with this counted? Oh, maybe Chris Jones actually retired. I didn't even think about that. I'll do a 3 or 84. I mean, how much is the tag? Can't be much more than we were offering him. All right, playing on the tag. I forgot about Hicks. 3 or 32. Oh, God. I completely forgot about Hicks. 3 or 33. Oh, gonna have to fight for him in free agency. God, I hate him. I really do. Oh, well. What can you do? I don't want to Phil Staff. I don't even know who Phil is. Let the AI choose it. Andy Reid can figure it out. He knows who he wants in his staff. He doesn't need my help. All right, let's take a look at the free agents. I mean, it's all out time, right? Jalen Carter. Damn. If we can get rid of Chris Jones, maybe it is worth it. Unless he already retired and that's where the money went. If it is, yikes. But if not, then we might have a chance to maybe sign him up. Get ourselves a new Chris Jones. And Chris Jones is there. You do have to take a bit of a hit, but Jalen Carter might be worth it. Let's take a look at how he's played. See those sack numbers. Obviously, going to be a little bit better in the block shed, I think. No, usually I see him develop block shed before power move. 12.5 sacks, his best season yet, so pretty good timing for him. I can see why they're a little hesitant, though. They're like, hey, where was this before? I can't make the offer. I guess what we would want to look at is there anyone with full bars? If there's full bars, we're not countering it. We're literally the lowest interest possible. Not sure why. He wants a 4-3 scheme. You know what you could do? You could play defensive tackle. That's something. How about that? And there is no one full green. I still don't think we can get him. Because, here's the thing. If you get rid of Chris Jones, you have to replace him, Let's just get Reed back, Jaden Hicks back if we can. Pretty high green. We're not going to get him back, really. I can't believe he left us. I just want to punch him, too. I'm getting a little violent as this rebuild goes on, I'll be honest. And, of course, as the rebuilds kind of, get to the end of their road, almost none of the players are... wait, actually, do we have the contract? No, we didn't. We got rid of it. But I say none of the players are... releasable for a savings. It's all the contracts are balanced. Hope we get Hicks. I highly doubt it, though. And we don't. Okay, now we have to replace another player. Couldn't get it done last year. I'm sure that's going to go well this year. All right, pick 29. There's a couple of corners here that look pretty good. Could play a safety role. We definitely need a safety. Is the corner that I had on my list actually there? We see a round one right guard. We definitely could use him. Outside linebacker Bullard, the guy we have. He has been, normal dev this whole time. Might be a way to go. What else do we have? Divine. Don't know the zone coverage, so if I was going to bet on anyone, it would probably be Coates at safety. The big thing with safety, though, is these positions kind of sit around for a while. Do I really go for a safety that I don't even, really care too much about? I don't know. What about the rest? I know the speed isn't really there for most of these guys, but these are the options. What can I tell you? Coates. Don't know about Divine. Casey and Odin might be decent. Was the front kind of screen showing here? A to B awareness, 22. 4.41 speed. What about the other safety? Is he a 2 to 3? He is a 2 to 3. Casey, Sheldon Casey, really good hit power as well. Really good speed. Do you not trade to 10? Maybe try to make a trade up? I really don't like that trade from the Browns, though. I gotta be real. I almost debate the Buccaneers trades better because at least it's a this year trade up. A draft pick that they're offering us. Again, we're not, coming from the most... Yeah, I'll take this. The Cardinals give me a third round. We're not coming from the most, high position here, but thought we'd maybe get a little more than that. Either way, let's go to 6. See if any of the safeties are gone. Might even still take that guard. If he's a big dude, he can play tackle for us. 6'4". I think that's pretty damn good size. 6'4", decently strong. New right tackle. True 8 talent 18. And this is why I don't draft linemen high. Tell me why I should do that. Tell me why a guy that looks that good is normal dev, and I should take that risk when I could just go to the third round and likely land a hidden dev. It's just the risk versus reward isn't there. There's very little reward. It's not like I'm getting a better chance at a high dev, high overall guy. It's just stupid. Thankfully, he's a true talent 1, though, so maybe he'll at least be a high overall, but either way, it's dumb. It really is. So let's pay attention to these safeties. Coates, Casey, Odin, Dickerson. And kind of as expected, the safeties, well, not all of them, but the safeties, not bad, right? We got Casey and Coates. Think we figured Casey was better, right? I'm pretty sure. Just a little bit more of a man guy, which is fine. Hybrid's actually the way to go for safeties this year. So Sheldon Casey, automatic free safety 1 no matter what. Ooh. Okay, he's hitting, though. Yeah, that true talent's low, though. I gotta be honest. We make a trade up with the Lions to grab this round 1 true talent linebacker Bullard. See what we got for Mr. Bullard. Pat Bullard, 6'3", 243, crazy key ratings. He just looks unbelievable. If he sucks, I don't know who's good. 16 true talent. Of course, normal dev. You look at a guy that goated, and this is what you land. Yeah, you'd be devastated. It sucks. Can we at least see some high overalls for these normals? Wow, okay, this draft sucked. This is the worst draft we've had in a while. Not even a high-depth draft. Just disastrous. Just disastrous. Casey is a little bit high of an overall, though. 72 overall. Hit power is up there. Man and zone are similar. Hybrid. He has a hybrid type. That's good. Problem is, because hybrid's so good, you usually end up losing hybrid because of hybrid. Pat Bullard. Yeah, there's no point in starting him. This is a bad draft. We only got worse. That's really all I can say about it. We got worse. All right, the final season. It's been a little lackluster. We should have won more than we have. You see Mahomes has regressed now. Things are bad. This is literally the last time the team is going to be top tier, though. It just is, because Pacheco, even at 95 overall, even at X Factor, he's going to regress pretty hard, I imagine. Mahomes constantly is regressing now. Can you pay your left tackle going forward? I freaking know. Chris Jones is going to be gone. It's not even the best roster we've seen, but this is the best we would have going forward. So if you want to call it a window, this might be the last window. All right, let's see this money. Dak, obviously you pay. Sua, I don't know. Humphrey, I don't know. Iglesias, probably gone. Phelps, we need a DT. He's the last good one we have. And then Jordan. Okay, it's going to be costly, but we might be able to afford it. Dak, obviously, he's like tight end 1, 6-year 120. It's $20 million per for a tight end, which sucks, but what can you do? Iglesias, no. We're going to go with Phelps for sure. Would love to see him get a dev up. 5-year 130. I can't believe that wasn't enough. $71 million left. We obviously pay the safety. We just lost freaking Hicks. This time we won't forget. Thank you. And now we have $62 million. I think, obviously, based on age, based on importance of position, you do take the tackle. And of course it's not enough. Of course. $30 million per in Madden is basically like overpaying almost. And you know what? I'm going to pay Humphrey as well. Oh my God, dude. This momentum or motivation crap is starting to piss me off. Everyone needs literally less than 500K more. And it's just so dumb. But whatever. We can afford the players. That's all that matters. All right, headed to playoffs. Should be in them. I mean, we looked pretty good. I simmed it from like week 13 though. And we'll see if we actually make it. We should. Might even have the bye week. It was a pretty good start to the season. We do. We go 13-4. Number 1 seed again by 2 wins. And crazy enough, Sumatea doesn't resign. I offered him a 5-year 140, and it wasn't enough. I don't know. I really don't know. It's the motivations. They mean so much. And it's stupid because a lot of the motivations just either A, aren't controllable, or B, wouldn't be a big enough deterrent to throw away money, right? If somebody is dangling $30+ million at a tackle position in front of your face, I highly doubt you're declining that, especially since it's the team that drafted you. I don't know. The motivations are a little too strong, but if you drop them down to low, it's too useless, and it's too easy to get players. But either way, Mahomes, MVP-type season. Pacheco was great. Rice is an X factor. Edwards, worth that money, apparently. Worthy, speaking of, pretty good. Clinton, pretty good. Not a guy we really talk about too much. And then Sua, giving up 10 sacks on the season. Gotta love, declining $30+ million per year to suck. Chris Jones was pretty bad. Karlaftis and Onadike Uzuma, back to their usual ways. And Phelps with 11.5, which we just paid him. So glad to see that. Butker misses 1 kick out of 12, and then Nixon with 50.8, so at least over 50 yards per punt. That's all I can ask for from that position. Mahomes MVP, Rice Offensive Player of the Year, best QB, best wide receiver, and surprisingly, not best kicker. But the final season, it's the divisional round. Can we win another Super Bowl? I think 2 Super Bowl wins would be considered a win. I mean, it's technically already a win, sort of, but the Jets, we're 7 overalls higher than them. Knowing our luck. It'll be the team that takes us out. Another I guess not really a wild card this time, but first round loss. Here we go to the championship round. The Jets had to win, to get here. So, remind yourself that. Maybe it was even the Ravens for all we know. 14-7, 14-14. I mean, we're kind of seeing it a little bit. 21-14, 28-14. That could be enough. One more score should do it, and it will. 31-14, 31, 38-17, 38-24. The Jets, give them some credit because they didn't give up, but yeah, it was just too much. Looking at the numbers, Mahomes was basically perfect. Booth was actually really good too, though. Of course, running back numbers in playoffs, they're just terrible. I mean, Breece Hall, 3.3 yards per carry, really. 200 yards and 2 touchdowns for Rice, who was amazing. Worthy was pretty good. A little surprised that we didn't have to replace Davante with a little bit better of a wide receiver. Worthy just kind of stepped up and became that better player, which I think is cool. Little surprised that last year wasn't good enough for him to go to superstar, though. 15 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, but still, he's been pretty good, 90+ overall, and obviously pretty damn young. Let's go to the championship round. We, kind of speculated maybe it was the Ravens, and no, we were wrong because the Ravens are right here. And the Saints, is that them going to the Super Bowl? I don't even know. But the Ravens, they've come back with a vengeance. 5 overalls on us. Well, we have 5 on them either way. Oh, it's a snowy one. I don't know who wins this. I think it's just like a null. They got the run game, so maybe them actually. Let's see it. Starting with 3 after a stop is good. They get a field goal themselves. A bit of a slow game. Kind of expected that with this weather. 10 all at halftime. Could be worse. 17-10. Ravens are going to score a touchdown. It takes them a long time, but that's how they play their game. And here you go. I mean, down by 4. Gotta have it. 4th and 4. They're going to do. You got to go for this. They're going to go for this. I don't even know if I want to be in here. I'm kind of a liability. Man, I don't like the way that snow looks. They throw me off a little bit. Pacheco, he's got speed. And he's going to be short. Oh, they're going to kick. I'm telling you, this year, I swear, they give you about a half-yard of leniency that you just shouldn't have. Of course, one thing I really hate about replays is it also doesn't show you where the damn first down marker is. But it was close, dude. I don't know. I think he was short. But I'll take it. First down. Going to keep the drive alive. Keep the game alive. See if the Chiefs offense wants to get the job done. They do. It's a 3-point game, though. The Ravens could still win it. And they will not with the interception. And we're headed back to the Super Bowl for the first time in a long time, it seems. Lamar Jackson really wasn't that great. Mahomes threw that pick, but was overall pretty good. Pacheco was better than normal. Rice was still as good as he usually is. Sacks for Felix. Pick for McLeod, the 6'5 monster, and then Nate Wiggins with a pick as well. Perfect kicking from both sides. In this weather, it was clutch, but we ended up still pulling off the dub to the Super Bowl. Who's he going to be against? Is it the Saints? It's the Eagles. They've actually had a lot of success in this rebuild, this realm, if you will. Let's take a look if we had any dev-ups. Should see Rice go to X Factor. He wasn't X Factor before, right? He was Superstar. X Factor Rice. No dev-up for Worthy. Connor goes to X Factor. Bolton finally goes to Superstar, but he's even up there in age now. 28. Still can't believe we didn't get a dev-up for McDuffie. Neither of the edge rushers. They both had seasons where they were in the double digits. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, I guess. Connor as an X Factor is kind of crazy, though. Pretty absurd. But hey, it's better than him also being stuck at star. Here it is for all the marbles. 2 Super Bowl wins out of 5 seasons would be, I would consider, a dub. But it's the Eagles. A little bit of revenge. Pretty good way to, make it come full circle. All right, here we are. Eagles starting off strong with 3. We get a 7, though. They also get 7. They're like, okay, we're going to need more than this. We knew who we were going against. 1-point game. The Eagles are playing a little bit better of defense. Oh, a lot better at defense. That might already be the game. 17-27. We had a chance. Offense is just struggling right now. Don't get me wrong. Our defense did not do well. But the offense, way too many field goals, way too many drives that didn't end in scores, and way too many short drives. And I just want to punch him in the nose now. We're back to swinging. I'm back to swinging. Mahomes threw 3 picks. He ain't him. I can't believe how bad Mahomes just played in Sim. That is ridiculous, dude. Wow. Of course, they got freaking... no, it's Jordan Davis. I thought it was Jalen Carter. They didn't even have Jalen Carter, and we lost. Wow, I mean, we won a Super Bowl. We had a lot of successful seasons, but I almost want to call that a failed rebuild just because it's the Chiefs. So yeah, this is why we do need to rebuild every team, because not only do you get to see your favorite team, perhaps, I'm sure there's got to be fans of every single team here, but they're not as guaranteed as you would think. I suppose that's kind of the big one out of this. This team, it played well, but we even missed the playoffs one time and only won 1 Super Bowl. So yeah, I mean, it's not as guaranteed as you would once think. But Rice, amazing route running, amazing catching. Spec catch, though, not very good, which is a little surprising. Release, I get, kind of happens a lot with younger players. They just don't get release upgrades. Worthy, the 91 overall, only star, but super young. Release, very good for him. Medium and deep route's great. This is the kind of way you would want to develop him. I personally think that short route is way more valuable than deep, but as far as his real-life kind of build goes, that makes the most sense. That is how he should develop, right? Isaiah Pacheco, don't know if the regressions have hit yet. I don't think they have because he's not 29 technically, but super speedy. Break tackle's a little iffy. Change of direction's really iffy for how fast he is, but I guess his agility is kind of low. Really good player, though. And then even though Mahomes has regressed, I'm still kind of curious to see what he looks like. 97 throw power, deep accuracy at 88. He's obviously still really, really good. Speed's dropped a little bit, but still really, really good. Then we have Edwards, who we talked about. Can he get to Travis Kelce by the end of the rebuild? I'd argue that he's technically better, only because I don't think Travis Kelce had those route running abilities, right? I just don't. Of course, really good trucking even, which is impressive. All right, what do we got now? So we'll take a look now at Suamatea, I suppose, who I probably once again pronouncing his name wrong. Really good power blocker. Finesse isn't that good. He really didn't even play that well, to be honest, but obviously one of the only linemen that we could really afford left, although we kept Creed Humphrey this whole time, so what can you say about that? Very good player. The only bad thing of him is his pass block finesse, and even that's 85, which is probably in the top 20 for linemen. So his worst rating, but not a bad rating, if you will. Then we move on to the defensive side of the ball, and honestly, I don't even want to look at Groves. He's kind of disappointed me in this one. Casey, he developed very quickly as a rookie. Rookie season went up really quickly. Hybrid, it's the way to go. Jordan, probably not going to be hybrid, right? Zone coverage, okay. Really good zone, though. His overall's low, but he's got some of the ratings that I would personally be, sought after. I would go after those. Nick Bolton, 93 overall, was able to find a way to keep him. Coverage is really iffy, but really good block share. He's just goated with that, though. Like, he should be like a run-stop goon. Then we now look at Mr. Davis. Didn't have that great of a year, too, but obviously a really high overall. The opposite, better in coverage. Very fast, obviously. So you got yourself a coverage linebacker. Kind of put him in man against whoever. And then I guess I'll look at Groves, even though I've been kind of disappointed with him. Should be more of a block shedder, and he is 85 block shedding, actually. Pretty fast, though. Then we move on to the cornerbacks, where McDuffie never got to superstar. Thankfully, he's super young, only 26 even after all those sims, but ridiculous. Just no dev up. No superstar. It's going to hurt his, really, his ceiling was hurt slightly, even though he's amazing. Could have been even better, though. And we already looked at Connor. And obviously, once he starts to regress, it's going to hurt that as well. Which obviously, the lower overall you are, the less, you can stay alive. So if he would have got a couple of more upgrade points, which he would have if he was Superstar Plus, maybe he would have stayed around. When he's 29, 30, he'd be a little bit older, a little bit better. But obviously, it's irrelevant now because he's only 27. But Reed, really good player. Still hasn't had his chance to start yet. Probably would after this season. I think Connor is good, but, he got caught up, right? 85 versus 86. You start the younger player at that point. Before, it was like a 5 overall difference. Yeah, you start the better player. But Felix, unbelievable. I mean, look at those ratings. Unbelievable. He even got his power move going. But yeah, block shed's crazy. Finesse is just the way to go. We did that video, and yeah, I would listen to that video, because you can see here, Karloff is a power guy. Block shed and finesse suck. And he was supposed to be way better of an overall, way higher of an overall, higher ceiling. He got caught up too. And even then, his overall might be higher, but he's not close. He's nowhere near close. Felix is way better. And of course, Phelps, already 99 finesse. The finesse, it's the way to go. It's goated. It is baller. 95 overall, by the way, and didn't win the Super Bowl here, which is unfortunate. Chris Jones regressed. Still really good, though. Still really good. That's going to be it, though. If you guys want to see another kind of, I wouldn't call it, I guess, an experiment rebuild, let me know in the comment section below. I don't really want to do another Davante Adams, experiment type video. If he actually does get traded to the Jets, which is, kind of what they said that's what he wants, but I don't even know if the Jets can afford it. I don't know if they would want to do that. Yes, I'll do it when he actually gets traded, but I don't want to do another rumor one, I don't think. Maybe I do a Raiders rebuild where they do trade Davante. Maybe he goes to the Jets in that rebuild, but we're actually rebuilding the Raiders, not the Jets. That can make sense. So we'll see. Of course, the rumors are that the Raiders want at least a second-round pick for him. So the fact that I gave them a first and a third tells you, okay, all those, they're not trading him in the division, that goes out the window. If they're looking for a second and the Chiefs come along with a first and a third, yeah, they're taking that. They don't give a damn. It's not their job to make sure the Chiefs don't win another Super Bowl unless it's them physically doing it, and they aren't built right now to do that. So it doesn't matter who you're giving, especially since it's A, not a quarterback, and B, a player that probably won't even be around by the time the Raiders are competitive again. Yes, for the fans, we would hate it, especially if you're in that division, but, it's just what it is, right? It's not their job. Their job is to make their team better, not make the other teams better, of course. If it's a quarterback, you maybe argue, okay, do we really want to give them a pick that's going to get them to a quarterback or give them a quarterback physically? Probably not. But this is a little different. We gave them the trade value. It's completely fair. We overpaid. Interdivisional. No arguments can be made. If you guys want to see more of these types of rebuilds, like I said, maybe there's a different player you want to see potentially traded. There's been some rumors about. Let me know in the comment section below. A realistic style rebuild in general you want to see, let me know. Challenge style rebuild you want to see that doesn't have to do with this. It's a fantasy draft challenge, whatever. Spin the wheel type. Let me know in the comment section below. And that's about it. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. We do a ton of franchise stuff. Obviously, rebuilds and actually playing a franchise. Which, speaking of, don't know if tomorrow will be Patriots with a divisional round. But at least Friday for sure. Maybe Friday. Or Saturday anyways, but maybe Friday. Follow me to Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays for non-Madden content. That's basically it. If you don't see anything from me tomorrow, could be on the second channel PKR Plays, and if not, a lot of videos on Saturday. So regardless, there'll be more content. Anyways, thanks for watching. All you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!